Hamas and Hezbollah leaders killed within hours of each other. Joining me now, Khansarinia, Vice President of the National Union for Democracy in Iran. Cameron, this is a significant escalation. What are you watching today and in the coming days in terms of a response by Iran and Hezbollah?
Well, what I'm watching for from the Islamic Republic in Iran is to see whether there is actually a response or if it's just a lot of gusto and bravado. What we've seen recently from the Islamic Republic in response to Israel has been much of bravado and not really much in the form of a response to what the Israelis have been doing. We saw several months ago the Islamic Republic announced that it was going to deliver a devastating blow to Israel. All it did was pre-announce the launching of several drones and missiles, only one of which actually hit its target, and it gave the Israelis more than 24 hours notice that that was going to happen. So I think we'll see probably more face-saving measures from the regime in Iran as opposed to an actual response, because the regime knows that it cannot stand up to the Israelis whatsoever. The most important thing to know here, however, is just how weak the Islamic Republic regime in Iran really is. The fact that the Israelis were able to eliminate Ismail Haniyeh only hours after he had a private meeting with the supreme leader, the dictator of Iran, Ali Khamenei, and was there for the inauguration of the regime's new president, shows how weak the regime's security apparatus really is. So I'd look out for more weaknesses within the regime as opposed to just looking at what the military response from the Islamic Republic might be.
Are you more concerned about a potential response from Hezbollah and Iran proxy there in Lebanon?
Absolutely, that would be a more immediate thing to expect. I mean, what we've seen in the past several weeks has been Israel going after the three H's: Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. I think what's important to remember is that all of those are mere puppets being controlled by a puppet master in Tehran, and that's the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. So Ali Khamenei dictates financially, strategically, militarily, to a broad extent, what his proxies do and do not do. So there are very few things that are done by Hezbollah, by the Houthis, by Hamas, that Ali Khamenei is not, at the very least, made aware of prior to. So I think the true thing that we have to see come about for an actual end to this violence, for actual peace in the Middle East, is for Ali Khamenei to no longer be in power. Because if Hezbollah does a retaliatory strike and Israel retaliates for that, we're pretty much in a tit for tat and effectively kicking the can down the road. We're going to continue to see violence. We're going to continue to see destruction and the loss of innocent lives, Israelis, Palestinians, Arabs, and Iranians, and Americans, frankly, as long as this regime is in power. So I think on the front lines, of course, you have Hezbollah, in addition to Hamas, who have just lost their leader, who are going to be primed for some sort of response, and the Houthis. But the real actor here is Ali Khamenei sitting in Tehran.
Yeah, and of course, Ismail Haniyeh was part of the negotiating team for Hamas. He was involved in the negotiations. What does his death mean for a potential ceasefire deal?
Of course, in the very short term, it complicates things. There's no question about that. I think what's been troubling for me has been in the past several days to see within the media and so many analysts saying that Ismail Haniyeh was, quote unquote, the moderate voice. What kind of organization is Hamas that their moderate voice is somebody who brags about killing innocent women and children? I mean, it's quite atrocious. I think in the short term, of course, the elimination of their leader will make the negotiations much more difficult. But at the end of the day, the end to this conflict is in the hands of the Hamas leadership and of the Islamic Republic in Iran. If the hostages are released, this war ends almost immediately. So in the short term, it's going to cause some challenges, I think, but maybe it opens a door for mid to long-term solutions for this, for more reasonable minds, if they may exist within Hamas, to take leadership and actually see, do they want the continued devastation of innocent Palestinians? And unfortunately, up until now, that's what we've seen. We've seen the Hamas leadership being willing to sacrifice innocent Palestinians for their campaign of terror against Israel.
Khansarinia, Vice President of the National Union for Democracy in Iran. Thank you so much.
Thank you.